Hello, welcome to the Cup TV, part of the Currently Unnamed Podcast, with the real D reality, and you always come here first to quench your thirst. And welcome to the coverage of Guts and Glory. Yay!
Brooke, I wanted to be more positive after episodes 1 and 2. I realized I was like so negative. And then this episode hit me like a 2025 Hyundai Tucson XRT, which you can buy today at your local dealership.
Oh my god.
Genuinely, I we'll get into it because we're trying to keep this short, but it feels like this was an ad for a car the entire episode, which
Well, yes. So yeah, hi everybody, I'm Brooke and I'm passionate about pop culture. I'm not passionate about Guts and Glory at this point, and I'm depressed with the quality of this show right now.
it's bad. It's really bad. I really wanted it to just improve this episode, and it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But here we are.
Yeah.
Let's just get it.
So yeah, so we start coming off the last episode. Brian came fast in an easily riggable challenge, but they decided to save him. So nobody got eliminated in the last episode, which again, what was the point? But we know that Josh, or should I say Platinum Josh, is now has an advantage in the next challenge to some degree. We don't know what that advantage is just yet. But at this point, we're on the bus driving to a new destination. And I don't know. I was kind of like the whole last episode was really pointless to me at this point.
Yeah, no, it really does feel like they're making multiple decisions that make other parts of the competition filler, and you have 3 hours of content. You don't have time for filler. But
Mm-hmm.
granted, from what we see of competition this round, yeah, no, they didn't have much content to go off in the first place. So this
Yeah.
actually makes sense.
So my big problem with this episode is that it was a 30-minute episode that would have been a 10-minute detour on the challenge, or on the Amazing Race, or on Survivor. And we're coming off the heels of a really interesting challenge, even if it wasn't as well executed as possible. At least watching them dig through a dead body is at least visually appealing. Um, and I can't say that about what we got in this episode. So we're on the bus and they're in the middle of nowhere, Alabama, maybe, probably Georgia. And Brett, the bus driver, gets a phone call from a PA, who claims that her car broke down and was asking if they could grab her on the way to the next area. Brett's like, yeah, sure. And all the people on the bus are like, no, you idiot, don't do that, you dumbass. What are you doing? Which I'm like, y'all, if you don't know what show you're on at this point, so it's so hard to just talk about this shit because it was so bad. Um,
The issue is, and I mean, I think we're seeing it more and more as these episodes progress. Unfortunately, a lot of these people aren't great actors, and this show needed great actors. I mean, I'll bring up uh I'll bring up Who Done It again because it's the show that I'm most familiar with behind the scenes due to an adventure that we'll eventually be able to talk about on here. But uh, basically all of the people on that show were at least actors with second professions. So all of them knew how to act, knew how to sell the game they were being played. Unfortunately, it seems like one or two of these people are actors, and the rest of them are like giving their best shot.
and
And
they
unfortunately,
killed
it's not
one of the
great.
better actors in the first damn episode. So now we don't have at least her carrying the torch as we move forward because Julian was actually a good actress from what we saw at the end of the first episode. Um, but regardless of the acting, I can say that we stop the bus. There is a scuffle uh, and screaming, and then the bus hits something very lightly. By the way, we're talking like 5 mile an hour collision, maybe. Um, you just backed into something while you're pulling out of the parking space, essentially. So
Yeah.
now they go to the front. They see half of Brett's body. So R.I.P. bus driver Brett. Um,
Really
like
quick. So we see Brett's body and we see him get attacked, and it's like, oh, that's horrible. And then Greg comes on screen and is like, wow, that was really intense, guys. Whoa. And note, I'm staring off camera intentionally right now. He's looking at like a 30-degree angle. He can't even look at the camera he's going at, which really?
it was
Like, this
bad.
is basic stuff.
I will say the
How
effects that they used to make the half of a dead body looked good.
that's what they can do right. They can make a horror movie. They can't make a reality TV show. That's the problem we are now facing is that Greg Nicotero is a great horror movie director and horror show director, but we're seeing the issues with him not knowing how to make reality TV. And surprise, they're going to continue to come up this episode.
True.
And this will be a really fun study of what goes wrong with reality TV when I eventually make a video on this once we're all the way done, because this is like good enough to where I feel like that I might need to just like hit a button and just be like, you know what, let's just make it for once. But yeah,
We can talk about it for sure. I don't mind them killing the bus driver as a setup for something. I
I
just wish
don't
it was a
either.
setup for something more interesting.
I do
Because
as well.
we go off the bus, they all get told that they have to go to this junkyard to find parts to fix the bus. But the crazy thing is, they don't tell them what's wrong with the bus. So, like, when I hear that, I'm like, you don't even let them check under the hood to see if there's an issue. For all you know, the car is fine. Like, you crashed at like 4 miles an hour on a big ass bus. I think you'll be okay. But so they go to the junkyard. Um, and they're looking around for a bit, just trying to investigate. I will say there was a spot where Josh was like staring into a car and trying to open the door, and there was this like blacked out window. I was like, "We're about to get jump scared. We're about to get jump scared so hard," and then they just didn't.
Didn't no. Unfortunately, the producers didn't think of that being a really good idea.
Oh well.
Oh well.
But well, the producers didn't think is a pretty good subtitle for the show, I think, just in general.
In
So,
general, yeah.
yeah. Um, so Greg eventually shows up after this creepy wolf monster thing is spotted cavorting around the junkyard. Um, I will say this effect, not as good.
Not as good. It was very much like a Halloween Horror Nights monster. Okay, that's. I mean, granted, it's hard to represent a quadruped as like a monster. You could have just like continued the rubber all the way down to the bottom of it and made it like a foot instead of it obviously being stilts.
Just get an actor dog. Just
But
get an actor dog. Like I'm not. I'm sorry. Like I am of the. I understand that they want to have this like really cool horror effect with this like big wolf monster humanoid kind of vibe because it was barely even a quadruped. It was mostly standing on its back legs anyway. Just get a damn actor dog because that's threatening enough. You're in a junkyard. It also makes sense. You can get like 3 dogs, make them like rabid, but not really, and just have them bark and scratch and like threaten the contestants. And that's all you had to do for this challenge. But instead, it's this weird Wolfman ish thing. It just doesn't look
hybrid.
very great. Um, so we then get to the first of at least 5 minutes worth of a car ad in this episode where Greg rolls up in this nicer car. I will say, looks like a lovely vehicle.
Looks like a lovely vehicle.
Lovely little SUV. It's really cute. And he says it's a 2025 Hyundai Tucson XRT. And as a special addition to the whatever the prize is at the beginning of the show, the winner of the show will also get this vehicle. If that was the only time they mentioned the car in this episode, would have been
Great.
fine. Would have been fine. And
Unfortunately, not the case.
You know, a couple people talk about needing a vehicle. Like I think Josh said his clutch just broke in his car, and Brian said his last car just broke down right before he came on the show. Don't know how true those things are, but here
Probably.
we are.
One of them maybe, one of them maybe not. You could have just used one of them. Like
I buy Josh because him saying his clutch
Yes.
broke down. Yes, he seems like the type of man to drive a stick shift. I'll give him that. But also, Josh, if you ever need a partner for the Amazing Race, call me. If you can drive stick, that's a bonus already. But
bitch, you've offered me like 3 different times. I will learn.
Okay, Jack, it's very simple. It's very simple, okay? We cannot go on the Amazing Race without one of us knowing how to drive stick. It won't work.
Correct, and
how many different teams have lost because their partner doesn't know how to drive stick shift? It is like
several.
It is on the Amazing Race commandments. Thou shalt know how to drive a stick shift. But at this point, I thought that was going to be the end of the car. It comes up like 5 or 6 more times in the episode. But we get told that it's time for a challenge where they have to, I am not kidding, roll a tire across a balance beam.
But
I repeat, the entire challenge is rolling a tire across a balance beam.
Brooke, but you haven't described everything. The balance beam has small blocks of wood on it that make it a little harder.
Oh, and it's also
and one other like small thing that I think was actually a good addition. But other than that, no, that's the entire challenge.
Yeah, it's 20 feet in the air-ish.
Ish.
And like, I'm sorry, Fear Factor has desensitized me to this kind of crap. Like Fear Factor and the challenge especially. Like, if I had a nickel for every time the challengers were like 40 feet above the ocean competing on a platform trying to push each other off, I'd have a lot of nickels. And
you'd have an alarming amount of nickels.
yeah, I'd have at least two, which is weird that this happened more than once. But at this point, I was like, so this is the challenge. We're in a junkyard, which offers you so much cool and unique setup, and this is what we're doing. Okay, Jan. So not only is this challenge really dumb and really easy and really, really showing the show's budget, but the bottom two in this challenge, the people who roll the tire across this beam the slowest, the bottom two of them are just out.
Yeah, they're just done.
Just done.
I
you
want
sure
to once
like
again.
Driver?
Yeah, sure? Exactly. It's like, oh yeah, so you've now had 2 challenges in a row where it's simply, if you do the worst, you're done. Call yourself a mix of this. Call yourself a mix.
Hi, doggo.
I love your dog. I have 2 very loud dogs in my home, and of course this happens now. Just call yourself.
Just mute for a second. It's okay, Jack. It happens. I don't know what point Jack was going to be making, but as soon as they're done yapping, we're good.
I can now make the point. And you know what? We're gonna cut a minute of just that. No, we're not. We don't have the time because this show doesn't. So
we don't have the budget.
Call yourself Fear Factor plus the challenge, or Fear Factor plus 99 to Beat wasn't
Blair Witch. When this
aired.
That's
Blair Witch.
They call it Blair Witch plus Survivor. Honestly, Blair Witch, I get it to a point. Low budget horror movie, cool. I see you.
They gave them individual cameras to talk to. Yay! And then, well, Brooke, you have to remember there was one social strategic decision. One
out of 3 episodes.
And actually, let's just talk about it. Because I have other opinions about it.
Yeah. So remember, Josh has an advantage in this challenge, right? I would like to be clear. This was called an advantage, not just immunity. Josh is safe. Doesn't have to do the challenge. He gets to sit out, and he's automatically moving on. I'm like, weird to call that an advantage. I think that's just safety, but okay.
Sure.
But then we get told that Josh has the option where he could choose anybody else and make them safe as well, and they don't have to participate either. And of course, everybody wants to be safe. Everybody wants to be the person who Josh picks. And I don't remember who it was, but somebody just kept. No, somebody. I don't remember who he picked. Somebody just kept saying their name, and it was getting
Alexis.
annoying. Yeah. No wonder. Alexis goes, pick Alexis. Alexis. And I'm like, girl, why are you making your name sound like it's getting screeched by a banshee? But Josh does end up picking Julia for some reason.
Which pisses everyone off. And I just want to make it clear. This advantage is probably just now going to hurt Josh because, and I quote, what he did to win this was predict weight and got lucky that no one else chose it before him.
Yeah, it's really dumb. And again, really dumb is a pretty good statement on the overall game design we have going on here. But Josh winning this advantage and then getting to choose someone to be saved, I wish it would have been done after the challenge of like, you don't have to compete. You don't know how anyone did, but after everyone's competed, you can now, or like it was the bottom three and Josh could save somebody out of the bottom three and the other two went home or something like that. Because at least it would be a format.
Well, I mean, we'll talk about why that why the bottom three proposal potentially is also a bad idea, because apparently the show invalidates that as well.
Oh, we'll discuss.
We'll discuss, but yeah.
But yeah, everybody's getting pissed at Josh except for Julia. And well, Brian's not. Brian's chill about it. I'll give Brian that. Brian was just like, okay. Pretty much everybody else, though, is being really immature about the whole thing. And at this point, we just go to the balance beam. So a few people have different strategies. Oh, we also get told that if they fall off the balance beam, they might get mauled by the monster. You might just die.
Also, I just want to bring up that while Greg is like explaining this to them, he's like, oh yeah, that monster is scary, isn't it? Well, I guess you could still get the job done. I know this man is probably very lovely. Who looked at Greg Nicotero, heard his monotone voice, and said, that should be our host, because that person should be fired.
Yeah, you guys remember the show Capture that used to air on the CW a couple years ago? Like about 10, 15 years ago?
Like 10, 15 and aired for one season, Brooke?
Yeah. See, I knew you would get what I'm talking about, Jack.
Of course I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I have problems.
Well, what I'm going to say is I think I would rather have Luke Tipple host this show because at least he has somewhat of a personality. And he's bookable. Like, he ain't doing anything. Just call him Tipple. And he's Australian and very pretty. But beside the point, I Luke Tipple. But a Capture reference in 2025, everybody.
Because there's nothing to talk about with this show. We're just going insane.
Yeah, it's really bad.
The real guts of coming here today is figuring out what the fuck we're going to talk about.
Yeah, because we don't want to break the fourth wall here, but Jack and I overslept this morning, so we're actually supposed to film a few hours earlier than we are right now. And Jack was like, oh, I have somewhere to be in like 45 minutes. And I said, well, we probably could get this done in 30. So.
Correct.
But yeah, so balance beam. Everybody seems to have different strategies. I will say Brian is the only one going with slow and steady. We'll see how well that panned out. But a few other people are just like, I'm going as fast as I possibly can. I don't care about anything else. I just need to get it done. Yes, this is a race. Good. Now, to our knowledge, nobody fell off the balance beam.
Yeah, no, this is
fell off the beam. However, I do have a theory about something, and we'll talk about it in a little bit. But we see pretty much everyone finish. It was rolling a wheel across a beam. I can't really bring up more than that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, we also randomly get a deep depth dive into Lucian for about 5 seconds. And also another deep dive into Brian, but we've already had that as well.
Literally, the second we see this, I'm like, okay, so they're both going home. The only reason you'd bring this up is they're going home.
Well, okay, with Lucian, yeah, that was pretty much where I was at. I was like, yeah, Lucian's probably going home. But then with Brian, I'm like, this is the second time we've had this, like, deep, personal, minute-long thing about Brian. In a 30-minute episode, that's a lot. So in my head, I'm like, maybe they're trying to steer us towards a Brian win. and like trying to give him the CP edit of compelling personality. Edgic, of course, if you are unfamiliar. So, but apparently not.
Apparently not. No, this show's decisions are equally asinine.
Yeah. So we find out the bottom three after everybody gets done. Everybody comes down to the bottom of the junkyard again. We find out the bottom three were Brian, Lucian, and Alexis, and everyone else is safe. Special shout outs to Brady and I forget the man's name, Colby, who were the fastest. They don't get an advantage, but they were the fastest. And also, I will say, Brady specifically said, "This is what I was doing when I'm terrified," because apparently she's very afraid of heights. I can't wait to show these people what I can do when I'm not scared out of my mind. I'm like, girl, maybe the fear was motivating you. Ever think about that? But yeah, so we found out our bottom three are Brian, Lucian, and Alexis. And Brian and Alexis are our slowest people here and are both just out of this version of Survivor and Blair Witch.
They're just done. And they literally walk into the fog. They don't get a kill. They don't have anything interesting happen to them. They just leave. Which...
You know, imagine if, like, okay, did you watch Escape the Night back in the day, Jack?
I did. Of course I did. Brooke,
So
of course you literally mentioned something, and of course I've watched it.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Imagine after Daystorm beats Lauren in the little den of the vampires, if Lauren doesn't just get swarmed by vampires. Like, I'm just saying, the kill is the fun of the show, right? Because even if we're not vibing with the competition, at least the kills are going to be fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
For more evidence of that, go watch season 4 of Escape the Night. It's bad.
Or I mean, like 13 is real. 13 fear is real. Like literally a very similar kind of competition structure where at the end of each round there's an elimination round between 2 or 3 people. And last place is killed at said challenge. And that's what made it entertaining of like, oh wow, okay, they're dead. Or like Scream Queens. Like there's so many formats that are like this.
Murder in Small Town X. It's the same thing. Hell, Who Done It? Literally, the whole setup of Who Done It is literally whoever did the worst at guessing the crime in the last episode is the victim in the next episode, and we get to watch them die. It's not that hard of a format to get to me. But no, Ryan and Alexis, who make it halfway through the show, which again, not very impressive when everyone really did, are just
dead.
Out.
They're just gone.
Not even dead. They're just
done.
out. But speaking of dead, we get to watch as Greg drives off in the Hyundai Tucson XRT. Once again, adverting the car.
You know, we gave them so much motivation this round by showing them that they're winning a new car. I hope this really drives. Did we need this?
I feel you, Jack.
No shit.
Like it's bad. So we finish up with everybody's rolling the wheels back to the bus, and I'm like, did they pop all of their tires simultaneously with a very slow head-on collision? Is that the advert we're getting here? If they would have popped like the front left tire or something like that, I would have bought that, but that is not what happened. So we're going and going and going, and then suddenly Lucian gets pulled under a car and mauled to death by the dog monster. Why?
Huh? So, I mean, on one hand, he got third to last. So is this a triple elimination? Because, like, you can see a little bit of logic in that, sure. But then why did the other two get to walk off and they're just eliminated, but Lucian is killed?
Yeah. My only thought was that maybe Lucian fell off the balance beam or something. Because in my head, I would be like, well, if Lucian fell off the balance beam and he got mauled by the monster, like we said, that might happen. Okay. But we didn't see that. So, and I will also say, we didn't see Lucian finish the balance beam either. He was one of like 2 or 3 people who we didn't see make it to the other side in the edit. But so that is a possibility still. But again, it's lack of point, right? With Julian getting killed in the first episode, very clearly that was the setup, right? That she was brought on the show to die. If Lucian was brought on the show to die, okay, but it doesn't make any damn sense from a viewing perspective when you tell us 2 people are going home and then you kill 3. Or you kill 1 and 3 people go home.
This is genuinely like my trust issue with the show now is you have proven that I don't know who's actually a contestant in this game. Was Lucian ever a contestant? I don't know the answer to that question. And like, Lucian is from New York City and is involved in music. It wouldn't surprise me if he was hired to be killed here and basically Josh was told, you can save anyone but Lucian. And they just didn't explain that because Lucian dies anyway. And maybe Lucian's time didn't actually matter and they threw him in the bottom because they were going to kill him off. I'm not going to say the exact same thing again, other than you have shown that we cannot trust anything you're saying as a format. And as such, I don't know what I'm watching, and I'm kind of disappointed in the fact that, like... Kinda am disappointed in the fact that, like, okay, so you had 8 players and 2 stunts. But at the same time, now it's like, okay, so there's probably at least 1 or 2 more people in here who are just going to die, like, randomly. And they were never actually contested.
You know what I think is the best description for this show, honestly? I feel like I've been
slammed, bamboozled, and hoodwinked.
And like, I just, and like,
what a failure there.
Like, it's just so.
It just is genuinely infuriating.
It's disappointing. Apparently, Lucian.
Yay! I'm not getting murdered.
But like, apparently he is getting murdered. So yeah, so that's episode 3 of Guts and Glory, everybody. Yay!
I am so glad that there's only 3 more episodes of this. I can't lie. If there was like 5 more episodes, or if these episodes were any longer, I think we both would have agreed to just drop the series.
Okay, but we try not to drop things if there's not a reason.
We try not to drop things.
Because I think the only shows we've dropped recently were Big Brother UK, and that was because of other things,
a structuring issue,
scheduling issues, and then Big Brother UK got dropped, and then
I didn't do it.
Hello, doggos. Yeah, we dropped Big Brother UK for scheduling issues, but other than that, we haven't dropped anything in a hot minute. So, as much as this show has been a pain to sit through, at least it's only half-an-hour episodes, and it's not taking up too much of our time.
Yeah.
So, let us know down below. Have you watched Guts and Glory to this point? Hello, dog. But it is.
Let's quickly just cut this part, and then we'll restart from like 2 minutes ago.
Okay, well, I'll put in a cut for Logan. I'll tell Logan to cut.
Yeah, I mean, I can edit this down in when I come back. It's no big deal.
Okay, sounds good. So 3, 2, 1, and just go back in.
Yeah, give me a second. Let me first go. Okay, and
3, 2, 1. All right. So thank you for joining us for this masochistic journey that Jack and I have embarked on, apparently.
We nearly decided to just like cover 13 Fear is Real. Brooke, we're gonna have to now just to like enjoy a reality TV show after this, which we'll do happily on Patreon.
Would we enjoy it?
Yes, 13 Fear is Real is really good, and I want to see a horror series that's done right.
Maybe we should just cover Capture instead.
Look at this point, official pitch from me and you. We're just gonna cover one-off shows because it's fun.
Oh my god. Okay. Let me throw you an idea out, Jack. Okay, we'll talk about it after, but I would love to do a show where once a month we cover this. We do it like a Patreon thing where it's just like, hey, you remember this random one-season reality show? Jack and I do.
I don't know, a cup shot or something similar. We'll work out the title later.
We'll figure it out. But beside the point, thank you so much for joining us here today, everyone, and embarking on the sadism with us. So thank you for being here. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe. We are on a mission to try to get 1,000 new subscribers across all of our channels this year. We are very close, in fact, based on the numbers we've seen this year, especially thanks to you guys here on TV and our friends over at the main channel, the Drag channel. With the numbers that we've been getting, we're actually really close to accomplishing that goal, which is kind of crazy to see. So if you haven't already, we'd love to have you. So thank you so much for being here. And make sure to buy your merch, including but not limited to cup mug at laundrycreations.etsy.com. That link is in the description down below. Yeah, so we'll be back next week to talk about another
episode 4
of Guts and Glory. Yeah,
I didn't even mention it. Obviously, this next round was supposed to be played in pairs. They knew what they were doing the whole time. It just adds to my suspicion that Lucian was really a plan. Thanks for being here.
Okay, can I tell you what my honest thought was here?
Go for it.
Just make the person who finished the fastest be safe for the next challenge, and then boom, you have actually developed something of a format. Congratulations.
That's too
but
difficult.
Until then, we're getting caskets next week, so that's gonna be fun. But until then, we'll see you guys next time. Stop watching this video and go watch another video. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye.